Okay, so here goes. My name is Jessica, and I am updating you on my weight loss. So here's where I am. Beforehand, I kind of only gave half the story or bits and pieces of the story. I kind of felt like this weight loss for me was pretty much doomed from the beginning. Like, it just wasn't going to be one of those times I was going to start and finish. And I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. I can still keep going. I can still keep trying and, just try to be as healthy as I can. I think I said before, forgive me if I say husband, he is my fiance, but, we've been together so long, I'm so used to saying husband, and I call him my husband. So, here's where I am. I started losing weight. I lost about 22 pounds altogether, pretty quickly, taking me from 372 to 350. I am currently 352. So I've gained 2 pounds back total. But I could be happy. I'm happy, I haven't really gained a bunch of weight in the off time that I haven't really been on it. I've been kind of sick and down, and it's been so much going on. Like, sometimes I wish I had somebody that I could just really reach out to, but so one of the things that's going on is I'm pregnant. Me and my husband, we're facing an unexpected pregnancy, and that had been pretty hard on both of us. We weren't sure what we were going to do. I had saw 2 ultrasounds that gave me pause. I have one child with special needs. He has one kidney removed. He's in the early stages of kidney failure, with the other kidney functioning at less than 35%. He has a condition known as hydronephrosis, where his kidneys retain too much fluid, and he was born unable to use the bathroom. And after many surgeries and a lot of years, here we are. This is a condition he was born with. It was something that we knew could be fatal if he didn't get a kidney transplant. And only later in life did the doctors finally start being honest with me and tell me that, hey, he's not eligible for a kidney transplant. He's only able to, go on dialysis because his bladder he has a thick walled bladder, and the bladder, you can't do a surgery to replace or thin out or anything. And so the bladder is the cause of his kidneys going bad. So he has chronic kidney disease, but it's because of his bladder. And because of his bladder, he's not eligible for a new kidney, because any kidney they give him would just continue to deteriorate over time. So he was guaranteed till he was 12. Well, 11, 12. He's 13 now. Well, actually, 11 is what they told us, but like I said, he's 13 now. He just turned 13 on Monday, February 9th. And, that's been something for me, and so that's one thing. There's procedures that we have to go through on a daily, every few hours. There's a procedure we are supposed to do with him, and it's a lot of work, and for a while, I did most of that by myself. And, he can handle a lot of it on his own now. So, I'm really happy for the small steps and stages that we get through, as they develop. It's a load off, but it's still a lot of hands-on and supervision on my end regardless. So, let's see. I have one child with special needs. I have 4 older children and one younger child. I am homeschooling my 4 older, and they're in 3 different grades. And of course, like I said, we're dealing with the special needs. And then I have the baby, who is 1 year old. And, you know, I'm not saying like she's 1.5. She's like a fresh one. She's like in between. She's like uh, she's like 1 and 3 months, one and almost 3.5 months, you know. So it's not like it's not like we got a bunch of time on our hands. You know, my husband, he works, he's the sole provider for our household. You know, he works and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So for me, I thought the weight loss thing was going to be pretty easy and something I could just jump on. I know I have the propensity to lose weight pretty quickly if I try and if I stay on it and if I stick to it, which is kind of what led me to being so far overweight, because I always felt like, oh, you know, I can just do it later. Oh, it's not that hard. I'll just do it later, you know? And I never really took it as serious as it really is, you know? So anyway, back to the ultrasounds. On the ultrasounds, I saw the legs are kind of deformed, almost like the knee joint was backwards. And I said, oh no, I can't do another child with special needs. I didn't know what to do. Now, I'm a Christian, and, you know, I've been in prayer about this for quite some time. And, you know, one of the things I find myself having to defend as a Christian, and I feel like I shouldn't have to, is that I am firmly pro-choice. Most people won't like to hear this. That's fine. But God gave us free will so that He wants us to make the right choice. He needs us to choose Him. He needs us to trust Him. He needs us to choose to trust Him. If I was to take away somebody's choice, then there wouldn't be a test. There wouldn't be anything for them to choose. I would be taking away the rights that God gave them. So I'm strictly pro-choice because God needs us to find it in ourselves to choose Him and to make the right choice. So I'm strictly pro-choice. Now, just because I'm pro-choice don't mean that I'm for, you know, abortions. I don't agree with them. I don't like the idea of them. I don't like the thought of them. But I don't know what your situation is, and I can't speak for anyone else. In my case, I considered it because I was scared. You know, I already have a son who has a terminal condition, and, you know, it's a lot of work, and, you know, I love him to death, but what do I do? Like, how can I give any more of myself to another condition, you know? And just being honest with myself and realistic, that was something I had to consider. Then I saw another ultrasound where the leg looked fine, but they didn't move. No matter how much the baby moved, the legs didn't move at all. And, you know, the baby hiccuped, sucked its thumb, moved around, but the legs didn't move. Neither one of them. They just didn't move. So now this is where I'm supposed to trust God and look for spiritual healing. And I have to believe that this baby's going to be okay. So I was supposed to have an abortion in January. I was in tears. I was crying all the time. I didn't have the heart to continue with the weight loss. I didn't have the heart to post videos or really do anything. I was really torn up about this because regardless of what I feel I could physically do, you know, this is still my child. This is still a part of me, and I would be making the decision to kill my baby. So that bothered me so much, and my husband, you know, bless his heart, you know, he was concerned about my weight. Again, I'm 352 pounds, and a pregnancy would just possibly add another 40 to 50 more pounds. He's concerned about my heart. He's concerned about my mobility, and I get that, and I love him for that, and I understand his position, you know. So he was all for the termination because he felt that health-wise, physically, this pregnancy could kill me, and I know that I'm a high-risk pregnancy, so he wasn't off, he wasn't off. It just didn't sit right with me. So I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and it was the hardest thing to do, to tell him that no, last minute, after everything's paid for, that look, I can't go in there. I can't do this, And so now we're having the baby. Yay. But now, again, everything he was afraid of is still something that I have to deal with. The health repercussions of this, the weight gain that I'm gonna expect behind this, can I seriously lose weight? Like, I know doctors have said it's okay to lose a few pounds. Again, at my weight, it's okay to lose weight when I'm pregnant, because I'm heavy enough that it's not like I would be taking anything away from the baby. But I don't know how to do that. Like, can I realistically lose weight and carry this baby? And then that's another thing with the ultrasound. In December, I was 13 weeks. And in January, late January, another ultrasound said that I was still 13 weeks. So it made me feel like something was wrong with the baby. But like I said, this is where I have to trust God and say, you know what? This baby's going to be fine. So I will definitely keep everyone posted. I'll let you know what happens with the baby, what happens with the weight gain, what happens with me and my husband. We came together, between the two of us, we have a total of 6 children. He has 1 outside of our relationship. I have 4 outside of our relationship, and then we have 1 together. And neither one of us are financially ready for another one. And I thought about getting my job back with OSU. Well, it's one of those jobs that are open, so it's not really get your job back. It's simply just return to work, come off leave, or, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I thought about going back to work, which is still not far from my mind, because now 7 kids between the two of us. 5 are here with us. And we want to have all of them together, but we don't have a house. We can't afford a house. I don't feel like we can really afford apartment living either, but it's just, the finances of things have been pretty rough for us. So again, this is where I'm trying to activate my faith and trust that God is going to provide, because these are things we need. We need a house now, especially if we're going to have this baby. I even thought about having it and giving it up for adoption, because there's people who can't have children, and they'll love a baby regardless of its condition, what it's born with. They just want a child, and I want the best for my children. Even if it's not me. But while abortion wasn't an option for me, adoption was not an option for him. So we are having our baby. And with even 6 kids in our house, a 3-bedroom apartment is not going to cut it. That's 3 kids to a bedroom. And that's already tight enough. So we need a house, and we're having the baby, and I'm going to continue to try to lose weight. I just have no clue how this is going to work. So that's where I'm going to keep you guys updated. I feel so much better now that all of this is out. Believe it or not, most of my family and friends do not know. What of my family does know, it's not a topic of conversation regular. So again, it's like I have a bunch of people to reach out to and talk to, but these are the things that are on my mind, I don't know how I'm going to cope with the extra weight gain, and even if I lose weight, the baby is still growing and gaining weight, which is going to offset what I'm losing. I mean, I guess if I stay stagnant throughout the pregnancy, I guess that's still a win, because